my view here is this is management skill is individual, whereas leadership means what? People skill, which means I need to learn to work with people. And that means it has to be a social skill. I call that as if I were to be only focused on my core skill, that is my hard skill, do I succeed as a leader? I don't succeed. That is where my trouble starts. My focus purely on deliverables, my focus only on the hard areas of the what part of it, rather than the how part of the component of the project, creates lot of friction, lot of tension with my stakeholders. It is difficult to gauge whether we are at the right balance, but we can always have a sense of. The management side of it is possible because we have got some hard measures to look at. So we know we are doing good or bad. But from a leadership standpoint, the people standpoint, what is the first problem of people? That is never constant. Today we have some set of people, the same set of people we meet tomorrow, we will see a different mix.
Good evening, friends. My name is Vivek, and I, along with my colleague Kalyan, who is going to take sessions today, welcome you all in this 22nd episode of the Project Management webinar. For the first time attendees, a small introduction that Project Management webinar is initiated to support the people who want to perform better in project management, want to use project management tool, want to use them effectively, want to clarify their concepts, doubts, and achieve certifications like PMP, Prince2, and other project management certifications, and also want to retain the certification by earning paid use. We conduct this program on every second and fourth Tuesday, and in between we do it for a spell and then take a rest, and then we again have a spell. So today's webinar will be the last webinar of this spell. We will take a break and then we'll come back with a new set of fresh topics. Our effort here is to explain project management concepts in simple terms, and that can help the people to address their day-to-day challenges and gain knowledge about the project management, learn more tools about the project management, get aware of the latest trend in project management area, and we strive to help the people in their implementation, in their work, in their projects. And that's why we have kept it, the tagline as Imbibe, Certify, Apply, and Thrive. Today's webinar is about manage and lead, exploring these leadership areas and trying to find that where we are, what activities, what we are performing can be considered as management or leadership, and what should we do to become a good leader. And there is no best suitable person than Kalyan today. So Kalyan, please, stage of yours as such. So please go ahead.
Thank you, Vivek, for your kind words, and a warm welcome to all our colleagues and practitioners who are on this call. Appreciate your participation, and I encourage all of you to participate and make it interactive, because today is not theory. It's all about talking about our experiences. We are sharing our views about this subject, because this is not a subject which we could say as clear black and white. There is always a sense of gray, and there is no right thing here always. There is always the right thing is determined by the context in which you deliver. So let's begin. So people can see the screen which I have shared, and go ahead.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So why do we call this as a delicate balance between manage or lead? So interestingly, I just picked up a few definitions around project management. I just scoured the web to check what do they talk about project management, general understanding of the term project management, or the profession project management. people talk about the things which are highlighted, methodologies and tools to lead team members. Second one talks about knowledge, skills, tools, and technologies. The third one talks about strong technical skills and certain people management. So what you would see interestingly here is nobody has called out specifically uh, management and leadership. But when we get into the world, we do hear a lot about all that. What is needed? We need to learn to manage. We need to learn to lead. What is this all about? Why this certain uncertainty around here? And what have our seniors here who have joined the call have learned, and what they can invite to all of us? So before we start, I'm going to start off with a quick poll to gauge your understanding of this particular subject. I'm launching the poll right away. First one, please participate. Each one of you, please participate. Can you see the poll? All of you on the screen, please give your votes.
Yes, we can see the poll.
I'm just trying to gauge your starting point here before we get into the discussion. We could see more responses if possible. There are 20 of us here, so 16 have come, couple of more. We'll close the poll in a few seconds. Let's see, and we'll publish the results. Okay, looks all done. So let's see the results. I've shared the results. I hope people can see it. So the reading here says 50-50 gets the maximum vote, 41%, and management 25%, leadership 75%, 24%, the biggest two chunks we take. Okay, so let's go through the session and then we will touch base again to see where we are. So fair enough with these things. So I guess you already have the gist of it. Let's go ahead. So what happens? Common interpretation when we get into this role of a project manager. When I begin a career as a project manager, what is it people look for in you? If you were to look at your own experiences, what is it that your seniors, your peers ask for you? When somebody is, now I'm sure some of you are relatively new in this role, some of you are pretty senior. You could share your experiences in the chat window. What is it people look for when you say you are a project manager? What was that expectations people had from you? Was it around technical skills? Was it around domain knowledge? Was it around your team skills? Were they looking at your experience? What is it they were looking? Anything you could relate to your own journey as a project manager? All of them. Oh, okay. Interesting. Project management skill and team management. Okay. Driving project values, mostly influencer and team, technical. So you can see now. Thank you for responding. So you can see various aspects coming up. Manager should be into major areas, technical, domain, people. Oh my God, there are all of them you have listed there. Okay. Experience in controlling and monitoring. So now you see, this is what the diversity of opinion. That obviously it comes with your experience, it comes in the domain where you are from. So this is where the real conundrum is about what or who is a project manager. So let's dive into it. We are going to focus upon those two areas between manage and leader. So let's see what is our view. We are going to share with you. Encourage you to participate and be interactive so that we also learn from you. So typically, if you look at your job description, or if a CV, a post is created, somebody looks out for the role of a project manager, somebody hiring, you would see these two things. Can you relate to these things? Something on the left-hand side, what is called as the hard skills, People would expect you to be knowledgeable, to be proficient, to be good in all the processes, project management delivery processes, risk management, the various tools and methodologies, financial management, strong in scheduling. And they will also say, I expect you to be good in some other areas. What are those areas? Could be communication, teamwork, organization, adaptability, decision making. These are things which people talk about. Do you relate to this? Any of you see anything else which has been asked from you? Or when you scout for a project manager, what is it you look for? Let me put the other way around. Some of you are pretty senior here, so you would also be hiring project managers. So what do you look for there? Do you look for which one is more, would you say, weightage amongst the two when you are evaluating candidates? Because I can, as a person who is asking, I could ask anything. I can ask multiple things from the candidate. But when I evaluate them, there is a certain weightage I would apply. So, okay, somebody is saying soft skills, somebody is saying hard skills. Okay, communication and soft skills. It's equal right now. 4 responses, 2 soft skills and 2 hard skills. Anybody more? Leadership. Okay, so you are looking for leadership. Fine. So hard skills. So this is what our mindset tells us now. So when we are looking for a project manager, or when I am applying for a project manager role, which is the emphasis I lay upon? What is it I stress about? Nothing wrong being this or that. The only journey we are talking about is what are these 2 segments and how do they play a big role in shaping you as a project manager. That is the context. Okay, fair enough. So now let's take the second poll for today. We are driving some discussions through polls today. Let's pick up the second poll and let's see what would be your responses to this. Can you see, all of you? It's a very simpler question. Mm-hmm. 9, 11, okay. So another 10 seconds. I hope some more will. 18 contributed earlier. I hope we'll reach that number. So, last 5 seconds. Will that. So let me share the results. Interestingly, many of you have talked about leadership and management going together. 67%, whopping percentage there. And some of you have laid more importance on leadership than management. Wonderful. So let's talk about these things now. So what is the experience of some of you, if I were to ask you to distinguish between manage and lead? In the slide itself, actually the answer is there in the slide. If you can tell me, can you read in between the lines here and tell me which is management and which is leadership? Any suggestions? Any input here? The hard skills would be classified as what? Management or leadership? Okay, great. So the hard skills are classified as management and the soft skills are classified as leadership. And leadership primarily talks about people. It's all about people skills. So if you see the soft skills, they are all talking about interactions with people, or typically as we call in project management methodologies, stakeholder management. How well do I manage my stakeholders? That is what is the right side. The left side is all about the processes, the hard skills, things which you would learn early in life. So I'll share something to you interestingly about some of the findings of various observations which people have done over multiple decades in terms of development of these two skills, management versus leadership. And this is why I developed an interest in this topic and I thought of sharing it with all. The observations, what we see here, which has been plotted by some metrics here, there is a skill development on the axis, on the y-axis, and the timeline, that is a career stage which you show on the x. So generally, we normally go through this entry level, mid level, senior level in terms of our career. Now the same thing applies to your life, the same thing as you progress in life. Now what does it show clearly? The blue dot talks about the management curve, the growth of management skills, the development of management skills which you acquire over a period of time, and the orange one talks about the leadership skills which you pick up across time, across your life or across your career. So anybody wants to share your reading? What does this mean? Because all of you are experts in reading graphs. I'm sure you all are good enough to interpret this. And do you correlate with this? The interpretation here is the leadership skills lag compared to the management. So if I am an individual focusing on developing both skills, I end up picking up my management skills much faster than this. So this is the gap here. Now, do you correlate to this? If you talk about your own career, your own experiences, do you relate to this gap? I pick up my management skills much faster. That is, management skills is hard skills. That's why we help you to map that. So we become proficient more quickly in the hard skills compared to my people skills. The reason is that is how the focus has been. That is how the development, the curriculum, the growth of any individual has been that way. Across industries, across the world, geography, you will see this happen. Because the development of management skills or the acquisition of management skills is at the individual level. That is the difference. That is my view about it. Again, I have used this data point to share my view. So my view here is this is management skill is individual, whereas leadership means what? People skill, which means I need to learn to work with people. And that means it has to be a social skill. I call that as a social skill. This is what happens with people when I am developing myself across my lifespan. Look at my initial education, or you look at my initial experience. People are always dining on me that I need to be excelling myself in my hard skills. What are those hard skills? Learn all the subjects, master them, and whether you are able to implement it is a different question. Have you mastered them, the theory? So that is why you see the predominance or the precedence of management skills over leadership. Now, look at it for a moment from your career perspective. You are here at the entry level. You are good in the management layer. You develop great management skills. You are an SME in your area, whatever your area is. Then you are assigned people with you. You become a leader. That means you become either a team lead or a group lead, or you lead in Agile, probably a group of 5 or 8 people. You start leading people. Now, what is the challenge you see there? Till last month, I was managing my own work. My focus was to manage my given work, to commit my calendar, to keep up my commitments to the other leader. Somebody else is the lead. Now, suddenly, this year, I am being told 2 people are put under you or 4 people are put under you. You need to manage your work and their work. It's not just managing yourself. You need to manage them also. And I am held accountable. That is the RASI model. It is not just responsible. I am now being held accountable for their delivery. I have to influence them really strongly to ensure that they live up to my expectations only then they're living up to the project expectations. So this is where the gap is, and this is where the challenges people see. When you grow, gradually you progress into a leadership. Of course, there are exceptions to this rule. As always, rules don't come 100%. There are always exceptions. Some of you may have been great leaders from your early age. Your social skills may have been excellent, maybe better than your management skills. We'll keep those minority out for the time. Largely, you will see this is how the behavior is. Now, what happens because of it? Can we deliberate a bit on what happens because of it? Can we hear some voices or your ideas in your chat window? Anything is open to me. I am here to interact with you. So you are free to talk. What happens because of this dichotomy you see here? This gap. What is that observation you have? Either your own personal experiences or with the people whom you are managing. What is it that you notice? See, you could relate to the poll, which all of you said. 50% leadership, 50% management is what you guys are looking for. But do you get them? All of that whenever you get a candidate? Results, delivery, outcome, very fine. I'm looking at the behavioral pattern of those people. What happens? What happens to those new leaders? Because they are good in management, in hard skills, but they are not so great in social skills because of this graph. We are talking about this observation. So all of you related to it also. You said, yes, largely that is what it is. So what happens? Somebody who is great individually suddenly starts being seen as not so great as a leader, as the group person ability to lead a team. That may affect their own individual performances. Yeah, so it divides into 2%. Yes, so you have to learn to be two different personalities. You have to learn to behave differently and get your work done as well as get the other people's work. Now, interestingly, this is what happens in our life also. Not only in career. That is why I put the question as career/life. Because even in life, we begin our journey as an individual only. We don't begin as the leader. Then we start forming families and then we become leaders in our own ecosystem. So the same struggle you will see the people are all going through. So that's what some of the inputs we will now touch upon. That is what is my clear topic today. Challenges around this, what we should focus upon and what is. So management and hard skills are primarily acquired early and developed early, but leadership skills lack. That's what I was saying. This is just the conclusion of it. Now, if you notice this is what happens across all the career life cycle. So their focus is on efficiency, they are on problem solving, so you become good at an individual level. Whereas leadership development takes time because you have to build relationships. You have to, as somebody rightly said, two people. You have to learn to behave more than one. You cannot be just one person now. You have to learn to influence, you have to learn to inspire and all that. This is the challenge. So we are going to highlight, therefore, what is the difference between management and leadership. Why this is important for me as a project manager, I'll spend a couple of minutes now. Because the expectation of my sponsor, the expectation of my shareholders, stakeholders, are all that I should be able to manage this project successfully. That is the definition of a project manager. But if I were to be only focused on my core skills, that is my hard skills, do I succeed as a leader? I don't succeed. That is where my trouble starts. My focus purely on deliverables, my focus only on the hard areas of the what part of it, rather than the how part of the component of the project, creates a lot of friction, lot of tension with my stakeholders. I miss out on that very important intangible component of project success, which is managing stakeholders. The people aspect gets lost. So this is why we should focus primarily as a project manager on two important components, both aspects, management and leadership. So help us understand better, we have just tabulated some of the key areas. So when I am playing the role of a manager, that is, if I am wearing the hat of a manager, what happens? My focus continues to be a very task-oriented, schedule-driven, cost-driven, all those KPIs which are being defined for me in the project. I try to focus hard on it and drive my people to achieve them. What happens? Secondly, from a responsibility standpoint, I focus too much on planning, organizing, ensuring there is no slippage, trying to bring back everything under control, whatever slippages are there. Okay, how can I minimize? How can I minimize the damage? How can I make profit out of this project? All those. And what will be my style? I tend to become a lot more authoritative in using my positional power in the organizational structure. So there is a designation which is given to me. The power which is given to me as a project manager, appointed by the sponsor. I try to use that power. So some of the examples, developing project schedules, assigning tasks, monitoring progress, this is all we do as a project manager. But what is needed for me to be a leader? This is not what is needed. If I have to wear the leadership hat, I have to now change my focus to be towards the people. Now, what happens if I were to do, let's take a pause here and first discuss here around the management. If I were to be very strong in management, what happens? What do I see as the outcome of such a behavior as a manager? You would see that my focus is always on the project deliverable and my goals are all very short term. I am focused on completing the project. My focus on customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, building long-term relationships. Nothing is important for me. For me, the important thing is this is a goal target given to me. I need to achieve it, and it becomes a selfish goal driven at an individual level. I don't care about the people around me. I don't have any respect, any sentiment to the people who are working with. That's what is this behavior all about. Whereas if I move to the right side as a leadership, if I want to become a good leader, what will change? I would not only focus upon my achievable, deliverable, I am going to focus upon taking the team along with me. I am going to look at it as the owner of a larger group. The accountability aspect comes into play, and I'm going to encourage them, support them to do their own work, help them with their decision making, and make them successful. So this is one of the attributes of a true leadership, as we call as the servant leadership, which is now the one which is most in vogue, and people aspire to be servant leaders. So one of the beautiful traits of a servant leader is to be people oriented. Keep aside my selfish goals. Try to be a leader. Try to absorb the leadership of the team. Become the leader of the team. Let us guide them towards their success. That is the object. So my responsibilities will shift towards empowering them and taking them along with me in the success journey rather than just looking at my own success. My style will be more influential. I'll be becoming a more influencer rather than an autocratic way of working. I would persuade them to find their strength and encourage them to deliver better. So some of the examples are providing mentorship, helping resolve conflicts, and build a positive team culture or stakeholder culture. Now, what do you think will work? Do you think being only a leader will work, or being only a manager, strong manager alone will work, or managing strong leadership alone will work? What is your experience? What have you seen? I hope people are relating to this concept, and this is where the challenges have been for during our trainings also. We come across these questions always. How do you balance and how do you manage both aspects around it for delivery, and how do you grow in the career path? So what is your take? You can respond in chat, or you can switch on your mic and talk. I am okay with that. So we need to do some balancing. We need to talk about certain quite struggle in happening in journey. Yes. Okay. Long run, pretty much both are needed. So obviously we realize something here. Management and leadership skills are essential, agreed. Now there the difficult part. Yes, let us accept the fact, yes, it is, both are needed. But how do I acquire these two? Management skills, we saw it is easier to acquire because there are certain tailored, structured programs are available for individual development. We are able to do. Is leadership that much easier? People skills, are they easier to do it? And that is why you see the reason that your leadership quotient or your score on a leadership always lags behind your hard skills component. And that you need a concerted effort as an individual to spend a lot more time in developing this leadership. Otherwise, it becomes difficult. Otherwise, we tend to drift and we forget that we have to be better leaders. So you see this happening. Some of you may be relating to it. You reach a plateau of excellent management skills. I am doing the best possible in terms of delivery. All my things are great. But when you take feedback, you see your feedbacks are relatively not great from the people with whom you have worked. The reason there primarily could be because of your leadership style. So the best way for you to know this is how many of your team members are ready to continue working with you in your next project. If you do a quick poll around it, or your stakeholders are ready to work with you, or are they going to heave a sigh of relief that, okay, this project is over, fine, I am finally done. Let us wrap it up and forget it. Forget that journey which we went through. That was a tough experience. Good to learn for us that we had a tough experience. Would they pray for the team being again with you, or you better go to a new team? That is what is input for you to check. So that's what here talks about. The bottom line is my view here. The project management needs both leadership and management skills to succeed. While management helps you to put the project on track, but leadership plays a bigger role for you in difficult situations. Finally, project management is all about managing the people around you. So unless you learn to manage those people, unless you learn to influence those people with you in that environment, you cannot succeed. Whatever great deliveries you may make. So that is the irony in project management for us. So we are giving you some examples how this could span out between the management layer and the leadership layer. A manager cuts corners to meet deadlines, while a leader believes it compromises the project's long-term quality. So I'm just giving you the two different views around it. If I am looking at it from a management perspective, the focus for me is on the short-term goals. So immediate deadlines and deliverables have to be taken. But if I have to look at the project's sustainability aspect, as a leader, what should I be looking at? I should be looking at what can I do to make it sustainable. Can I continuously put my team under pressure and always have these deadlines hanging over them and expect them to cooperate with me every time this deadline comes through? And it's not going to be only once in a while as far as the project is concerned. Very often we're going to face these situations. So which manager would succeed? Which trait would succeed? An autocratic guy versus a guy who is a servant leader, a guy who takes care of his team. So these are some examples you could relate. And this is what your differentiation will come back to help. Second example, a manager pushes employees to work overtime to meet deadlines, while the leader believes it is going to impact their well-being. So for them, the priority is going to be ensure. This is what we discuss a lot in schedules when we talk about in training. What kind of schedules do we prepare? How tight schedules do you give to your team members? Do we respect them as equal contributors? Do we respect their time? And do we derive what we call as a work-life balance? Do we focus on it? Is what the messaging here is about. The third example, manager unilaterally makes a decision without consulting the team, while the leader would definitely look at a collaborative approach. The manager's perspective is different. He or she looks at getting things done. So they push their views down the throat of the team and then say this is how it has to be delivered. I know best kind of thing. So, but is it acceptable is the question. How do the teams receive those inputs or those decisions? You see a lot of, you may not get the desired amount of support or enthusiasm for those decisions. Whereas if you involve them and the decision is made by the team, by consensus, and the ownership, sense of ownership comes in, you would see the leader achieves better in those situations. So these are few illustrations for you about how this difficulty happens and what your maturity shows through here as to what would you prefer. Would you prefer a managerial style or a leadership? So we are coming down to the more important thing for us. Today's topic is, how do I bridge this gap? What do I do to ensure that I keep up my leadership quadrant up to pace? Irony is management style is being considered for leadership. Yeah, that maybe that is at your end, what you are seeing through at your end. There are instances of both sides. There are people who are good leaders. There are people who are strong managers. Both aspects are there. That's why this discussion is, we told in the beginning, there is no clear-cut rule here. There is always that gray area between them. So we should always, each one of us to therefore now evaluate if this is the challenge we all face, that my management skills are all getting much better and I am much better off. So if I have to switch careers, if I have to move from an individual player to a manager, or if I'm going to grooming somebody down the line, what lessons we have to give? What are those lessons which we have learned as individuals, as managers? How do I groom the next level of people much faster and much better in their career? So what are the tips you can give? How do I, before we share our views, can we hear some tips from you? How do I bridge this gap? How do I make this orange line come closer to the blue or exceed the blue? So what all things do you think you could have done better probably in your lifetime to bridge this gap? And what could you advise to the people? There are people here in the group also, maybe who would like to take those learnings and make it work better for them. What could be the inputs you could talk about? Any insights for you? Anything which you could think from your experiences which you feel could make them better? Okay, got a one response here. Emotional intelligence, good point. Okay. So using emotional intelligence, we could do a lot of things. Fine. Let's see others. Any other inputs? Right. I believe all of you have done a lot about this area. You have also reflected upon your own things plus your team. So leadership is inherent. Okay. Do you think leadership can't be developed? And you say it is inherent? Is that what you're saying? Then that will be a difficult situation. All of us have come through the ranks and have developed some skills over a period of time. So the first question is, how many opportunities are we giving? So to develop the social skills, yeah. So be people focused and involve them. Yes, good point. So here, let's see some of the ideas which I have with me. We will then debate or discuss on that also. Fine. So you could notice some gaps. Okay, we saw the picture earlier, and we accepted that this management skills are happening faster because our focus remains individual. We miss out on the social component. So can't we address that part? Can we not make people more, our team members or the individuals, focus more on the social skills? Can we not groom them along the social areas first? That would help them to be better people, understand criticism better, learn to accept others' views. First of all, accept that there are differences in views. That is where the first challenge comes in. People come with that mindset that no, my view is the correct, I am the best, and my view is always the best. And that is where the management challenge comes from. That the project is being done for me, by me, for my success. That is where things start failing. So, first, train people to be tolerant. So, can we first of all train people to be tolerant? That means accept that there are others who are equal or maybe better than us, and develop that consensus attitude, collaboration way of working. This is where all the servant leadership qualities or transformative leadership qualities all talk about. First of all, can we as leaders give examples? So, first, where the leadership has, identify these things which you have to build in your skills, which you should build in your team. They need not be leaders today. We are going to build these skills for future leaders. So when they acquire these social skills earlier, you would see they are able to leverage their management skills better. Their hard skills are leveraged better because they're able to sell their ideas better with the teams. So that is what you would notice. Some of your team members have developed these leadership skills. Some of those leadership skills, not all of them, early. You check for people who are not necessarily great in academics. They are average in academics. But what other skills do you look for nowadays in your profile? What do you ask them? Tell me about your experiences. How did you manage a difficult situation? Why are you asking these questions? You are trying to check their social index. How good are they to handle? How good are they to tolerate being questioned? How they are accept defeat, accept failure? That is what you are trying to check. Are they mature enough? So that word maturity, the word mature we talk about, it conveys a lot of things. What maturity we mean. So that is what we want to help you here. First, try to bring programs to ensure people are more sensitive to each other. They respect the stakeholders, other stakeholders around them. Then you will see the change happening much faster. The same rule applies to you if you were to look at your Tuckman's ladder about forming team formation, team storming, team norming. The same things apply. The day the team starts accepting each other, you will see the barriers are broken and things move much faster. And you will identify many leaders in that group, not just one or two. There could be many leaders in that group. They are ready to take ownership for their activities. They are ready to stand up and say, yes, this is what I want to do. These kind of skills you can develop. Few points from our end, which we could do. Let's develop communication channels which are open and honest. Not just open, the transparency aspect. Let everybody understand the project status. Let everybody know. That is only one when you can encourage people to contribute equally to your project success. And that comes with the second aspect, creating trust. To build a trustworthy environment, very often I get this question as to how do I build this trustworthy environment? Who is responsible? Obviously, if I am the project manager, if I am the domain owner of that particular group, then the accountability lies with me. So I have to lead by example, that I trust you guys. The inputs which you give me are the best for me. You are going to be valued first. I will not rely upon any rumors or any hearsay from others. We will respect your views first. So that element of trust has to be first established. Then automatically communications becomes open, honest, somewhat brutal communications may happen, bitter communications may come through, but they are all in the interest of the project. As a leader, we need to assess the strengths and interests of the individual players and encourage them to develop their skills accordingly. So I have emphasized here, not managers, leaders, because in my view, leadership skill is a longer lasting goal. It's a longer term approach rather than managerial goals. Managerial goals are short term. You can do it. People are all driven by those numbers. KPIs will drive them easily to be great managers, but that will not help them to be great leaders. So the great leadership will go a long way. So my belief, great managers may not be great leaders, but great leaders are highly probably good managers also. That is how it works. So being adaptable and flexible goes a long way. That is where servant leadership qualities we talk about. And somebody talked about emotional intelligence. Yes, that matters. A lot of those aspects of emotional intelligence are covered here in this space. And I would encourage you guys to put them through that emotional intelligence course or make them aware of that emotional intelligence somehow. Many of them come with great IQ, but very poor in EQ. So the first step for us as leaders is to make our teams better in EQ, the emotional quotient part of. That will change their life a lot. Given all that, finally we still have this challenge. Even today I have my challenges in my project. Did I achieve the right balance? It is difficult to gauge whether we are at the right balance, but we can always have a sense of. The management side of it is possible because we have got some hard measures to look at. So we know we are doing good or bad. But from a leadership standpoint, the people standpoint, what is the first problem of people? That is never constant. Today we have some set of people, the same set of people we meet tomorrow, we will see a different mix. They come with their own baggages, so their behaviors will be different tomorrow. By the end of the week, you look at the whole week, you will see 5 different trends coming through. The same team working for you. Even you are behaving differently, the teams are all behaving differently. But then you notice a trend over a period of time, and then you sense, yes, the team is going well, we are moving on the right track. That is what you need to gauge as a leader. That's a longer term goal which you want to achieve as you progress in your career. And that it is a tough journey, not an easy journey to do that, because what happens because of the softer aspect takes time. So the ability to unlearn and learn new things from a leadership aspect is always tough. And we quickly slip in imbibing those good practices. So that is where the challenge always comes. So you can see results not coming through easily. Results will take time. So you need to give yourself time. Don't punish yourself because of things not working. Things will work. Don't expect results in a week or a month. You need to look at a quarter or a 6-month period to see improvements from a leadership corner. Simple example, look at your own career goals. You had your career goals, you had your appraisal set, you had your goals set up. If I were to assess you every month and tell you things are not moving, would you be happy? Definitely, as an employee, you would also not happy. You would say, I need time to go through this. The same thing, I'm holding the mirror back to you. As managers, we also have to give time and be patient with them. Then only you'll see results. But true leaders are patient and tolerant, and they put in their efforts there. The best vote for you would be the team's vote of confidence, which they give you at the end of the project or at the end of the period, what we talk about, that they would love to work with you, even whatever circumstances, they would stand by you. That is the success of true leadership. And you would see that happening. And, that is my take. So you get to sense that you are on the right track when you get this feeling. It's a gut feel, I know. There is nothing which you can measure about. It's a gut feel. As leaders, you see, yes, things are going good. Yes, I am happy about it. So with this, we wrap up today's topic. Any questions, any insights from your end? I would be happy to hear. Next 10 minutes open for Q&A. Feel free to unmute and talk. We'll be happy to hear your views. As I said, I'm here to hear your interactions and your learning on this topic. Anybody wants to share anything? Anything maybe to the contrary or in line with what we will be happy to inform. I'm here to learn from you.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, my background is BCom. And then how it is useful for me?
What is useful with leadership and management is what you're talking about? Hello. Yeah. So what is your current role?
Sir, my current role is an junior accountant.
Accountant. Okay. So you are a senior single person or you have a team under you?
Not understood. I took it.
Do you have people working under with you as a team or you are only working under them?
Working as a team means I am an accountant and then manager, finance manager.
Yeah. Finance manager is there. You have got other accountants also working with you. Correct? Today you may not be a leader, but do you see all these things? Can you relate it to your team working, to your manager, how they work and how they interact with you? Could you relate to any of that topic to that?
Not understood. This is my first class, so did not understood clearly.
Okay, fine. Fine, we will help you. We will help you to relate to it. Just give me a minute. Let me answer other questions. I'll come back to you. Yeah. Somebody posted here, graph of management and leadership was insightful. Thank you. Hope that helps us to correct that gap, whatever is there, because this is where we miss out. So hope we can take corrections for at least for others, if not for us. So do we have some sort of data or references that shows how much percentage of time is generally spent on motivating people? If there is a well-formed team or not? Yeah. There is no data around it. But as you mature, as you become better in your work, as a project manager or the leader, you tend to spend more time with people and allowing them to do their work instead of doing micromanagement. When I am a manager, that means I don't have that great skill as a leader. I don't trust them. So I end up micromanaging them, spending too much time with them. Instead of that, as a leader, I would see I trust them. I trust their judgment and allow them to do their people. And as a leader, it helps me to look ahead into the project rather than focusing on my current activity. This is where the usual dilemma is there for a project manager. Should I spend more time on tracking, monitoring, schedules and all that, or should I look into the future? That's the goal for you. What should you be looking at? This is what we normally cover in our training programs about. So, how to tackle? So there is another question. How do I tackle the situation where PM measures the process? People do feel they are getting judged and as a result the system fails. Correct. So this is the example I just talked about a minute ago. Is if you are becoming a micromanager and chasing them for results instead of facilitating them to succeed, then this thing will change. That's what happens. So the junior manager, for that matter, typically ends up being a great manager but not a leader. So they feel the pressure on themselves that they are accountable for everything and nobody else is accountable. That is the wrong way of looking at it. They have to take the team along. They have to make people also responsible for their individual components, encourage them to succeed. Once you push your team members to succeed, then automatically their success is your success. If you disconnect and say, my success is driven by me alone, then it doesn't work. So that is the difference between a manager and a leader. So this is where the challenge is. So, yeah, somebody else has commented here, PM role is prime and leadership is secondary. That's what we have to do. PM is including both. PM includes managers and leadership. Now for growth, my suggestion is, my personal view is leadership has to take precedence over a period of time. We need to become a better leader. Obviously, management also will happen. Life becomes easier. If I trust my people and if I start giving them more responsibility, they also grow. Obviously, they will also have to grow. That is their expectation. That is the normal expectation of any team member. Everybody wants to grow in their role. So we need to give them that space. If we don't give that space, is where the challenge is. Then you see 24 hours is also less for me because you end up doing everybody else's work. That is the problem. So here the learning for me is, like somebody rightly said, emotional quotient, understanding the gap of skills from management and leadership. If you can focus on those areas, you will see definite improvement for you.
largely behavioral issue actually. Management is also a behavior thing actually.
Like to pursue my career, it is possible. Yes, it is possible. No doubt about it. So again, you will have to take a look at your skills. You are not in project management, fine, but you are doing, I assume you are doing some senior role. You have got 8 years experience. So assuming you are a senior role, not individual contributor role. So you would have experienced some of those topics which we talked about. Getting work done from others. So these are leadership beginning, the journey, leadership journey begins for you. So learn the social skills quickly, be a better leader. Obviously, management will fall in place. It will happen. The problem has been for all of us, we have never been taught that leadership is, social skills are equally important. We have all been taught the hard skills are important. Focus on it has been, people have been teaching us. We learned it far late. We are hoping you guys will learn it earlier is what we are giving you the message. Our learnings have told us that these social skills you've developed early, you succeed faster, better. It's true. You see across startups, you see across small organizations, big organizations, all the leaders typically go through this struggle because even in startups, the guys come with what? Great hard skills, great technical background. When they form a team and try to manage them, they start struggling. This is where the challenge comes. In leadership courses nowadays, people are talking about these social skills. There is a focus on it, and we encourage you guys also to build on it early. That's all. The moment the earlier you do it, the better for you. You will see that, and just like project management skills, leadership skill is also a life skill. It is not just limited to your career. You can equally apply it and imbibe it in my life. That is the best part of it for me. That's a worthwhile investment for me in my whole lifespan. I can implement it both ways and see the learning and see how it works. I can implement it in my family, my circle, friend circle. I can implement it in my career. That's the best part for me. Okay, Vivek, I hope people enjoyed the discussion, and thank you for the active participation. All of you shared some good insights.
This was quite interactive actually. So didn't look like a webinar as such. It was a more interactive session. So, and thank you very much, Kalyan, and thank you very much to all of the people who have joined this and participated in this interactive session. I will not call it a webinar now because there is no time. It was a one-sided, so it is all interactions. And thank you very much for participating, responding, and participating in polls and giving your views. And so please keep coming up. We have these sessions another spell. So we'll take a halt now. So you enjoy your Diwali and the sequence of festival next week, and then the Christmas and New Year, and we will come back with a new set of subjects, new sets of topics in project management and leadership from the new year. So give us some rest, take your rest, to enjoy your festivals. So wish you all the best. Wish you all happy Diwali and happy Christmas or happy New Year as such. And see you in New Year. We will keep you posted on the upcoming webinars. So we'll take a little halt now. So thank you very much for staying together with us. So I believe you will continue staying with us, and we'll come back with the new set of topics. And I hope they will add more value to the people. Thank you very much for your...
I would suggest please ready to write to us for any new topics you would like to take up and you are ready to share with us. We would be very happy to accommodate you. We'll be looking
Yes,
forward
you
to
can
that.
write us. Yes, that very good point actually, Kalyan. So please write to us that what topic you would like to cover, and we will be happy if we can cover that. We'll try our best to cover those topics in this. In fact, that will be even more interesting as such. And if you want to be part of the webinar, you want to conduct a webinar, you have expertise in some area, you want to share some experience, you have some success or failure stories you want to share, please do let us know. We will be happy to host you here. So thank you very much. We'll keep you updated with the next webinar set actually. Thank you.
Thank
Wish
you
all
all.
the best.
Thank you.